Yeah, man. Not even gonna wait for the countdown. We just gonna get it in. Miss, what up, man? What up, what up, what up? Check, check, check. Yes. Derek Stevens in the building. Salute to you. Let me do this real quick. Before we get into it, let me switch my cam up. Hold up. Let me switch my cam. Quick little promo on IG Live to get those people in. IG Live, what's going on? IG Live, what's going on? It's your boy DJ TLM. I'm going live right now. Share the knowledge live. You can come join me, but not on IG. You have to come join me on one of the other platforms. I'm streaming live Q&A for DJs right now. Share the knowledge. Come check me out on YouTube, on Twitch, on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or Mixcloud. One more time. YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, LinkedIn, Mixcloud. Come join the rest of us there so we can all see each other in the chat. And I have you on a clear screen instead of having to scroll through this phone. So I hope you come join me there, IG. I see all of you in here. Come join me on one of those platforms, all right? Hopefully I'll see you there. Peace, 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 peace. DJ TLM everywhere. So youtube.com/DJ TLM TV. The rest is all DJ TLM. Twitch.tv/DJ TLM. Mixcloud.com/DJ TLM. Facebook.com/DJ TLM. LinkedIn is DJ TLM. Twitter.com/DJ TLM. Yes. Peace. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not doing the IG beyond that. It's just a hassle to look at the little screen. You have to scroll back to see all the comments. When I have my nice Restream chat app where I can see everyone except for Mixcloud, but I got him over there. So we got my man Miz in the building, Amsterdam representing. Derek Stevens is here. Gus Gomez in the building. Salute, Ref Kev. I see you. Carlos Tom is here. K-Dub, Tito Morales, DC in the building. Rockwell Radio Show. First time tuning in. Welcome. And DJ Flavor. Carlos Thomas, DJ Flavor J, NYC in the building. Vic Style says, oh man, I missed it. Viz, what did you miss? We're starting right now. This is it. This is the beginning. We're starting right now. So you're actually perfectly on time. Vinyl Touch in the building. I see you. We got DJ Renee C in the building. San Antonio, what's good, man? DJ Bubby is here. And DJ Hawk is here. All right, I saw a question already. I also sent a little shout on IG asking for questions, but I did that a little bit late. I didn't see questions there. I'll give it a peep a little bit later on. Let's see. So DJ 2 in a row. Memphis in the building. Love the art of teaching. Learned so much from you. I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that to the fullest. DJ Hawk had a question. DJ Kylo is here. Salute to you. And we got Alan or Alanis. How do you pronounce that? Alanis J? I'm mispronouncing that, but salute to you. Gabrielle, DJ Smoothie is here. Let's see. Okay, DJ Hawk had a question. Do you use a mobile DJ kit when you do small events? Or you use the same DJ equipment at every event regardless of the size? No, I definitely switch it up for sure. So my preferred setup, as most of you know if you've watched before, 2 turntables and a battle mixer with Serato most of the time, so DVS, and nowadays, of course, always with phase. That's my preferred setup, but that's definitely not how I always play. So for instance, when I do shows with Brainpower, the MC out of Amsterdam that I perform with, if I know in advance that it is one of those club shows where we're coming into a party and we're doing like a 20 to 30 minute set, there's like DJs playing there with a DJ booth. They're all playing with CDJs. I'm fine with the CDJs. So in that case, I'm not bringing turntables, or I'm not asking for a separate booth with a turntable setup. No, I'll bring, well, not these headphones, but I'll bring headphones, a thumb drive, and use the CDJs. Then on some occasions, I might have something like a party at my kid's school. Well, not anymore. He moved on. When he was in elementary school, my oldest one, they used to have like an end of the year party, barbecue thing, and I would provide the music, and I would go there, and I would definitely not take an entire setup. I would bring something like, what did I bring? I just bring a controller, a pretty small controller. I've brought a couple of different ones over the years. Like I had a reloop. Damn, what was it called again? An older reloop mixer, which was actually a pretty dope one. Damn, can't remember the name. I had an accident with it, it broke. I brought my Tractor S4 Mark III, and I think even something else. But anyways, it all depends on the gig. For certain gigs, it's going to make more sense. So I also do gigs where it's not a DJ gig, but a performance. I do a small scratch thing within the whole entire setup. They have like a full band, a lot of different artists who all do like one song. In that case, I want to bring something that is small because they're not going to have a lot of room on the stage. I'm only going to be on stage for a couple of minutes doing some basic scratches. Definitely not going to build up an entire turntable set for that. Your Vaultwin or you Revoltin. I appreciate that follow. DJ T Cool in the building. Salute, salute, salute. And Renee C with a question about Restream. All right, let me know about that. DJ Alanis, it is. Okay, got you. And T Cool, Happy New Year to you indeed. DJ Johnny in the building. Let's see. I appreciate the live, Johnny. I appreciate you. Let's see. Gus Gomez says, you should have waited one more day for this, fam. That Rev 7 announcement is tomorrow. Yes, I'm aware. But first off, like, this is my day for my Q&A. And this year is all about consistency because I have to make sure I try to do everything when I'm supposed to do it. This is my Wednesday stream, so I'll keep that on Wednesday. But yeah, I'm aware. But yeah, that's fine. I mean, this is the Q&A. I can do more videos, so that's going to work out. That's okay. And I'll wait for Renee C's question, RC3, with the Restream question. And let's see, Vinyl Touch. When you do get to try the VDJ DVS, let me know or let us know. Yeah, I will. That's virtual DJ in DVS mode. So I have had no time, but it is on my to-do list. I really want to try that out. What's my take on Rekordbox? I think Rekordbox is probably the best music management software. When I take a look at all of the DJ software, and I'm not familiar, like for instance, virtual DJ is not something I'm that familiar with, but I view that more as DJ software. Rekordbox has two sides to it. So you have Rekordbox, the original Rekordbox, which is music management software. They just have more tagging options and things in that software compared to what I've seen with other DJ software. And then they have their performance side, which is Rekordbox DJ. It's within the same software package, but that works the same way as other DJ software. It has a look and feel that is similar to Serato, even though they're not the same. But I thought that one was way more easy to get used to compared to if you're a Serato user and you want to try Tractor. That feels like a different world. Rekordbox feels similar to Serato. I've used Rekordbox in the past to prepare music to play on CDJs. And if you saw the stream on Monday, I was using the XDJ RX3, and I used that with a thumb drive, and the music on that drive you also prepare in the Rekordbox software. You can just put the thumb drive with just regular folders of music into the player, and it will see the music, but you'll have none of the information. You have no way to sort anything. So you use Rekordbox, you export it to a flash drive, and then you can use it with CDJs or Pioneer standalone players. Andy K, good to see you again. Bashimo, salute to you. Okay, so the question is, how do you use Restream on so many platforms? How much do you pay? So Restream is the service I'm using right now to stream at the moment to 6 platforms, but I could stream to more. But right now I'm streaming to YouTube, to Facebook, Mixcloud, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Twitch. And the subscription I'm on will run you about, I think it's around $16 a month, something like that. I'm not sure of the exact price. You would have to just go to restream.io because I just resubscribed during the Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So they had a discount and I took a year subscription. So I'm not exactly sure what I paid, but it's something around that price point. So this is an investment, but for me, it's worth it at the moment. I totally understand how some people, when they go for the streaming, when they start streaming, they just go for a platform. So a lot of people chose Twitch. That was their main platform, their only platform. I understand Twitch has the community vibe to it. And that's mostly for DJs, right? If you do a stream like this, if I was going to stream to one channel, of course, for me, it would be YouTube. That's where I have the most of a following. That's the logical choice. I want to spread the word and just get the content out through any platform that I use. So that's why I chose to find a service like Restream to do this. There are other services that offer this as well, something like StreamYard, but I believe StreamYard is more expensive. Hey, I saw something go through the screen. I don't know what it was. That was probably on Twitch, right? So yeah, something like that, I think. But just check restream.io for their exact prices. And they have a ton of websites you can stream to. And if it's not in the list, you can do custom. And then you just get the stream key from whatever platform it is and stream to it. Now, I have added Instagram in the past, but in order to use Instagram, I needed an extra service because you can't stream directly to Instagram. So I needed an extra subscription to a separate service. And then from Restream, it would go to that service and that would go to Instagram. At the moment, that's a little bit too much for me. I have so many different subscriptions already, but the option is there, but it'll cost you more. I know there's also something like Yellow Duck that is supposed to work with Instagram. I just couldn't get it to work quite well. I might look into that this year again. And Gus Gomez, that RX3 is, to me, it's an amazing piece of kit because of the standalone feature. It has everything I need on a controller, but it's not like a regular controller because it's standalone. So I don't need my computer. And a lot of people who tuned in were like, hey, what controller is that? Or what software are you using? That was the beauty. I was not even connected to the computer. Just the flash drive in there. That 10-inch screen really gives you a clear overview. I mean, the jog wheels are a bit smaller. They do respond really well. Nice responsive jog wheels, but they are a little bit smaller. I would prefer bigger jog wheels, but then you would have to make it a bigger device. And I used this a month and a half, 2 months ago. Basically, one of my only gigs last year was a 5-day-in-a-row gig at a conference where I was doing 6 to 7 hour sets every day. So I used that device for like 30, 35 hours in a 5-day span. So I really got to try it out. I haven't touched it since then until Monday when I did my stream. So a couple of things I couldn't remember exactly how you could do it, but I know you can. And like I said, just the standalone feature, you can even record your set when you're playing standalone because it has 2 flash drive connections. So one thumb drive with the music, you put a thumb drive in the second port, and you can hit record, and you can record your set even without a computer. Stuff like that is just super dope. Vinyl Touch also says, Rekordbox is the most complete out of all when it comes to tagging, management, and performance. Yes, I agree. Please try to help me with this question. Let me see, Andy K. Oh, there it is. Can you tell me what you think about lighting I've invested about 150 on a light. Do you think there's other ways of lighting basically than I'm spending money on expensive lighting equipment? Andy, lighting is just totally not my cup of tea. I'm not a mobile DJ, so I never go out and play and bring lights. So I know absolutely nothing about lighting. If we're talking about lighting for videos, that's a different subject. But like for DJs, I still need to get myself some lights because I actually have Sound Switch and I want to test Sound Switch with my DJ software. But I don't even have lights to try that yet. So you are in the right place. I'm pretty sure there's going to be people in the chat who are mobile DJs who are more familiar with lighting. So if anyone in the chat knows more about lighting, drop that in the chat so Andy can see, and maybe you guys can then link up and share that info. Gabrielle, curious about my thoughts about the new Rev 7. Very interesting. Very interesting. So more information should follow soon. DJ Larry says, hello, will you be getting Pioneer new controller? So I assume that is also about the Rev 7. Well, I mean, I currently am not able to get anything. So I'm not in a position that I can buy new gear. So I do have the privilege of being able to test a lot of gear. Same thing with the RX3 that's here right now. But that's going back. And I'm going to be receiving the Rain 1 finally at the end of the month or beginning of next month because they had some warehouse things going on. But I get to test that and then it's going back. So, yeah, that's it. So I hardly ever in the last years bought any equipment. Sometimes I get to keep something. A lot of times I have to send it back. But it does give me the opportunity to try a ton of different things. Same thing with that, I forgot the name again, the Newmark standalone device. I'm also going to get to test that one. I mean, people have been bugging me about the Rain 1 for like a year and a half. Every time I have to tell them like, hey, I haven't tried it. So pretty soon I'll be able to try it. Same thing with that Newmark, which also looks interesting because it's a more affordable device. Let's see. DJ Mad Live in the building. Salute to you. Salute. Rev Kev. So I'm a new DJ. Only been doing it for 6 months now. What advice can you give me to get over nervousness when I have to actually DJ in front of people? I've been watching your videos on YouTube since I started. Learned a lot from them. So first off, I appreciate that. That's great to hear. And like one of the most important things I tell people all the time. So there's a couple of things that can help you. And one of the things I always say is just be aware of the fact that you're going to make mistakes and don't worry about that, because a lot of people get nervous because they have a fear of failing. And a lot of times that fear of failing is not even the fact that they're going to make a mistake, but the fact that there's a fear of people seeing and hearing them make a mistake. So you're worried about what other people might think of you when you make a mistake. You're going to make mistakes. It might be small ones. It might be a bigger one. It's going to happen. During your first gig, you'll make mistakes. So once you stop worrying about that, that can take some of the nervousness away. That's just on the mental side. But beyond that, be as prepared as you can be, because that can also eliminate some nervousness and build some confidence. So just be as prepared as you can be. Know exactly what type of gig you're doing, what type of music is expected, what type of concept is it, what type of people are coming. So that gives you a little bit of an understanding of who you'll be playing for and what kind of music they mostly like. If it's going to be in a venue that you're not familiar with, try to check that venue out before you actually get to play there. Make sure you know exactly what type of equipment is going to be there. Make sure you know that equipment. So if you're going to hear like, hey, they're going to have this and that player, make sure you look up videos online to see exactly where you can find all the functions on those players, so you know how to use them. And I don't know if you're going to prepare your entire sets or if you're just going to go and play. It would be a good idea to maybe prepare 1 or 2 short mixes, like even if it's like a mix of 3 tracks, like a 5-minute mix, something that either you start with and you know that by heart so you can do it well, so you have to practice that, but then you'll have a smooth start that can help you out, or just to have it whenever you feel stuck during a set. So like if you're at a loss for a moment, you don't know what to play next, you grab one of those little sets and play that. That could help you get some more inspiration. Let's see. Okay, so in the Restream chat app, DJ Mad Live, in the Restream chat app, I just see $20. I have no idea what that means. Is that like a thing on Twitch that happened? You got me curious. Now I want to see. Hold up. Can't find it. Okay, I'm not going to do that now. Hey, Chris on the mix in the building. Salute, salute, salute. Mario, the DJ, is here. Quakey says, I notice I cannot load my folders into Rekordbox all at once. How can I use my Serato crates in Rekordbox? Yeah, I don't think you can actually load them at once. You'll have to do that, I think once at a time, importing them. Like, I know you can also drag them in there, but I've heard that that's not the way to go for it. And otherwise, there are conversion tools, like Vinyl Touch is mentioning here. You have the DJ conversion tools by Mixmaster G that can help you to do it. And there's other solutions out there as well, I believe. Derek, you're liking beat stores? Nice. Wait a minute. I actually saw a question about music that I skipped now, or Mike Mena, I don't know. Where do you get your music? Franchise record pool or where? So for me, it's 2 sources. It's DJ City as a DJ pool, but most of the time when I'm streaming, I'm using BeatSource as my music source. And BeatSource allows you to stream all of their music in your DJ software. So you don't own the music, you don't download the music and it's yours, but in all of your DJ software, you can open BeatSource, and then you get to use all of their music in your DJ software. I still need to do a full video on BeatSource. I mean, there's videos out there, but I still need to do one. What are your thoughts on the stems / acapella function on Virtual DJ? Trash or treasure? No, I think it's a cool feature. I haven't used the one in Virtual DJ. I've used the neural mix feature in Algorithm DJ, which does the same thing. And I like it for just on-the-fly things when I'm playing a track and all of a sudden I'm like, yo, you know what? I want to play this track and use the beat and just take the beat out of this one and make a mashup on the spot. And you can do that. Now, they're not perfect yet, and that's pretty clear when you hear it. With some tracks, it sounds absolutely great. With a lot of tracks, you can just hear, like, okay, the way they're doing it is they're kind of dividing frequencies. And when I take this out, I can hear that it's also eating some of the frequencies that were needed for the melody or for the drums or for the vocal. But overall, I mean, it's a super cool tool, and it will probably only improve. Let me just quickly see what's happening there with Mixcloud. I still need to find out, and this chair is crazy with the noise. I still need to, Mixcloud needs to fix that. I have their chat window open in a pop-up. It's this large, and still it leaves all of the text this small. That absolutely makes no sense. Let me just check for a second if you can adjust that. No, I can't see it. But I do see, I think it's DJ Camrash there. I see Kenya in the building. So salute to you on Mixcloud. I see you. It's just a little hard to read the chat. And that is an issue, though. Mixcloud, I think, I don't want to say they dropped the ball, but I heard like a year ago that this year they were going to implement features that we're used to on Twitch. I'm not sure a lot of that has happened. And there's still a bunch of things like when I use my Restream to stream to all the platforms, on Restream, I can just adjust the title of my stream. It will adjust the title for Twitch, for YouTube, for a lot of them. In Mixcloud, every time I have to go manually and fix the title in Mixcloud. I can see all of you in my Restream chat app. I can see Twitch, I can see YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, but not Mixcloud. They have to work on that. But Mixcloud, I see you. So I'll tune in every once in a while to see if there's questions there. I use iTunes to load my music into Tractor Pro 3. Now my laptop is nearly full. Do I need to keep my music on iTunes in order to play on Tractor? Or can I delete the iTunes music to free up space? I wanted to say I'm not sure, but I actually have no idea. I've never, even when a lot of people were doing it, I've never used iTunes as the way to just sort my music, use my music, or get it into DJ software. I know there's a couple of people who do, so maybe one of them is in the chat now. But I'm not sure. Grima Teams, do you think that live streams is the new world that will still continue from years to years? Oh, I mean, live streaming is here to stay. Live streaming is just a people's way to broadcast. So instead of having TV stations, you're going to have people who will use live streaming just to get their message and their content out there, for sure. So I'm on my M50 today. So I have to make sure I press that before the camera goes off. I have a timer on my watch here. So yeah, live streaming, to me, I think it's here to stay. I mean, it's a great tool for us to have, to be able to do a broadcast like this live without having your own TV stations and stuff like that. I think it's an amazing tool. For a lot of DJs, it's a great tool to sharpen their skills, maybe build a fan base. If a DJ already has some gigs, then it could be like an add-on tool to still build the extra fan base. If you have a ton of gigs, then you won't have a lot of time for live streaming, but even then you could live stream from your actual gigs. I mean, it allows you to have that personal interaction, bring people a little bit closer. So yeah, I think it's a great tool, and I don't see it going anywhere. Renee says, been using Restream since the start of COVID. The question is for DJing sets for shows. So I'm not sure I understand the question then. And you also asked about the price, but if you already use it, then you know that, right? Leon Billups in the building. I see you. Salute. Megawatt DJ is here. Mr. Arnab is here. Salute, salute, salute. What up? What do you think after 10 years DJ industry situation be like? Well, I have no crystal ball. Cannot look into the future. So I have no clue. I have no idea. Would you recommend mixed in key? Well, if you want to analyze your music and get the keys, I mean, DJ software can do that for you. Mixed in key does a great job. Mixed in key works really well, and it offers a couple of things that are some people like the automatic cue points it can set. Do they have a free version? I'm not actually sure. So, I mean, it's hard for me to say. I mean, it works well. I just don't do a lot of DJing in key. They have they have a couple of other features I like though. They have the mixed in key live that can just find the key for anything you're playing on your computer, which is pretty cool, but that's not really a DJ thing. So it's kind of hard for me to really talk much more about it because I haven't used it that much. Mad Life says, what do you think about the new Rev 7 coming out that's supposed to beat out the Rain 1 controller? Hey, I think it's beautiful when more brands step in that field. That looks beautiful. to me. Stephen Bell, SMB Music, what's going on? Salute to you. And DJ Reese says, have you heard anything about the new Pioneer Leak DDJ Rev 7 active with motorized platters? And Miguel says, Rev 7, take my pesos. So let me just keep it short and simple for all of you tuned in right now. Yeah, I've seen and heard more, and that's all I can say. What I can add is more info is coming very soon. That's it. That's all I can say. That's the thing when you have a relationship with brands. Sometimes, a lot of times I don't know stuff. Sometimes you know some stuff. And in a lot of cases, if you do know some stuff or hear some stuff, you're not supposed to share that information until a brand does. So more info coming soon. Very soon. The RX3 is going to be the blueprint for the XZ2 with a bigger screen. If it had a sampler, it would be perfect. Maybe, yeah. Oh, wait, Andy K talking about streaming. So you're talking about lights for streaming? Or let me go back, Andy, because you asked about lights. And I thought you were talking just about DJ lights. I just assumed it was about DJ lights. Think about lighting, invested about $150 on a light. What did you get? What type of lighting did you get? And we're talking about lighting for streaming or lighting for DJing, just to make sure. Let me know in the chat. Kylo, we have to get your input. So you'll have my input very soon. That's all I can say. You'll have my input very soon. But this should tell you enough, right? Let's see. Been doing an old school Sunday mix show on air and online. I use my personal Facebook page and Twitch. Is YouTube better now for DJ sets? How is Facebook working for you? Because I just stopped using Facebook for any type of streaming when it comes to music because my streams just got taken out. So taken down midstream. So I don't mess around with Facebook for music. For this type of content, it's perfect, but no. And YouTube, I mean, for some it works. A lot of times when I did streams on YouTube, the stream would be up, the stream would run okay until a certain point. And then a lot of time people would tell me like, hey, something just happened on YouTube while the people on Twitch were still enjoying the stream. I would get like at least 60 emails the next day or the same day with like the copyright claims. My stream could actually stay up as a replay, but then I got like some policy violation things, notices, so I just stopped. Then again, I see DJs streaming on YouTube all the time with music, and it seems to work for them. So I'm not sure. Now, look, Twitter doesn't have a major following, but Twitter is safe. The same way Periscope was safe, I do my streams on Twitter as well, and the video replays for my streams are all up there. That works. Yeah, I've actually never gotten to try that XZ, Gus Gomez. Or Reese. I've never got to try that one. But the 2, when it's coming, should be nice, I guess. When you fall, you get right back up. That's how you learn. Okay, I don't know what that is that relating to something else that was said? But okay. I was a Numark fan until Platter frozen up on my NS6. Less than 2 years old. And I bought a new. Okay. I've had an NS7 for years, and that never let me down. That's like a real motorized Platter. But I mean, it could be a faulty unit. You never know. I mean, I've had experiences with most brands that sometimes you get something brand new, and something's wrong with it. It can happen. DJ Chalice was good. I see you. Do you think that the DJ hardware industry is trying to churn out too many devices? It's interesting that all of these devices are coming out, but nothing extremely game-changing has happened. Yeah. I mean, probably to a certain degree, I think, and I have no knowledge of this, how this exactly works, but I can understand that it's probably important for them to just stay relevant for the masses to have devices coming out. Like, in all honesty, if they would only drop new devices when there's like substantial upgrades or just new features, and they have like 2 to 3 year between every device, chances are they'll lose like market share if other brands do pop up more. So I think they feel kind of obliged to do it. But I agree. In the years, I have seen a lot of like Mark IIs of devices, and then you're like, okay, there's not a lot different. But it's the same thing like with like an iPhone. Like this year's iPhone and last year's iPhone, most of the times when you just compare, yeah, okay, this is a little bit newer, but there's not that much difference. And then every now and then, you'll have like that revolutionary step forward, and then you're like, okay, now that's an upgrade. So I probably miss out on half of those devices that come out because a lot of them are like mid-tier or lower tier, and it doesn't even seem like they give them that much promo, but there's a lot out there. But it's hard. Let's make sure we state that as well. If they would only release whenever there's something like quote unquote game changing, then we would probably only see like a new device every whatever X amount of years, because there's not that many true game changers. Like DVS, that was a game changer. Like having controllers with motorized platters was pretty game changing. Phase, definitely game changing. The cloud / streaming ability inside software and hardware, that's pretty game changing. But in a lot of other situations, they add a feature and you can consider it a gimmick or fun. I mean, even with the neural mix and the stems, it is a super cool feature. And Native Instruments actually did it first, like with real stems, but you had to have the stems in advance. That was a cool thing, but there was just not enough people were into it. The stems type of feature we have now, it is actually amazing, but it's not at that level yet. You can't really call it a game changer because not enough people are using it. But there's not that many examples of like game changing changes. Let's see. Luna Rose, I see you. Hey, that's always nice to hear. I appreciate that. Earl Whiff in the building. Salute. Christopher Murphy has a question. How do you delete missing tracks? I've tried to follow steps online, but when I open it back up, it appears again. Oh, okay. Ooh, I haven't been in that situation in a long time. No, I don't have an answer for that right now. Maybe someone has. I mean, I've been in that. I've been there like years ago that I opened up, load, and then you just like found not found. And it happened with a lot because I'd moved some folders around. I mean, I've just started clean with Serato so many times that I just delete everything and just bring my folders back in just to be safe, that I know that everything I see is really on there. So I never really run into that. Let's see. Pete Fluff, what up? How do you mix drum and bass? I don't play drum and bass, so I'm not familiar with the specifics of it. Meaning that, I mean, mixing is basically done the same way. You match the beat so that the tempo is the same, so that you can let them play in sync. And then you have to get the timing right, started at the beginning of a phrase. But then again, I'm not that familiar with the structure of drum and bass, because within certain genres, you do have certain rules or guidelines about how and when to make your transitions. I know nothing about drum and bass to help you when it comes to that. And Jazzy Lamel has a similar question, I guess. What's the best way to get rid of duplicates? I mean, it's not the same thing as missing files, but it also has to do with the management. And again, I am not that sure, because here's the thing. I never really made my crates and playlists inside the DJ software. At least with Serato, I never did that. I would have music folders that I would actually create on my computer, and I would import the folders. The only folders that I make inside of Serato are smart crates. And same thing with Rekordbox, where I can have my intelligent playlist. But I normally import folders, and those are my crates / playlists. But there should be plenty of people who do work that way that are in the chat. Chalice from Jamaica checking in. I saw you. Salute. Rock City. And Carlos Time, yes, Record Buddy can do that as well. So you have the DJ conversion tool. Mixmaster G is in the building. Ask him questions about the music conversion. And Record Buddy is also one of those tools. I haven't used that one myself, but I know of it. It's been around for quite some time as well. Darrell Teasdale, are you excited about the upcoming news of new Pioneer controllers? Yes. Yes, I am. ATM. That's a good one. How do you deal with drunk patrons? Well, luckily I haven't had too many like weird interactions, but I've had to deal with drunk people before. If possible, if the venue, even if it's like a bar, a lot of times those bars will have security. The best thing to do is to have security deal with it. If that is an option, you shouldn't be the one to have to de-escalate the situation. Even though maybe you can, that's going to take time and focus away from what you're supposed to be doing. So, if possible, and I mean, security most likely will be at the door. So maybe you'll have to get someone from staff to go get security, if that's possible. If that's not an option and you're on your own, yeah, it can be tricky. It can be tricky. Like I said, I haven't had too many crazy interactions because it also depends on what type of drunk patrons we're dealing with. Like, you have the drunk patrons who are just a little bit out of it, and they might come over to the booth and hang over the booth and ask you a question, get their hands way too close to the equipment, but you can hold them off and they'll just let it go. But of course, you also have the aggressive types who might act differently. Now, I haven't had that happen to me ever. So I haven't had to deal with that problem personally, like someone who was clearly intoxicated and also now started to show aggression towards me. So luckily, I've never had to deal with that. I also haven't really been in situations where I had to just count on me because there was no security. I can hardly imagine any situation where there's not going to be at least staff, even if it's not security, more staff. And then still someone else should be dealing with that instead of you. So yeah. Rockwell Radio Show is the work. Let me know about that workaround, because I know one thing where you have to like have the Wi-Fi connected to your phone and then the camera won't turn off. But I'd love to hear it. And ATM, yeah, that's like the thing. I mean, when I'm dealing with like if they're coming in with like drunk requests, I try to stay as respectful as I can, but also I make it pretty clear that I'm not going to spend too much time on them. So I try to be clear and concise in my answers so I can move on. But I also want to make sure that they understand the message so they don't actually keep on hanging around and asking for more. But yeah, it depends on how intoxicated people are too. Philip Tan, I appreciate that cheer. Salute to you. All right, so yeah, Mixmaster G says the same thing, or says the same thing. Like I said, like mixed in key is great for key detection. So mixed in key is still the best key detection in the industry. Bus Curtis just finished his annual key quality test across 2,500 tracks and all DJ software. Dope. Arm TV back on YouTube. I see you. Salute. Let me check this. Okay, no. This chair is not even a year old, and it is making crazy noises. Do you think that the best way to know or to improve how to scratch is to use a turntable? Yeah. You can definitely learn how to scratch on controllers, CDJ, stuff like that, but you will get the most accurate muscle memory from using turntables. That's what I just noticed because I learned on turntables, which allowed me to use a lot of the same techniques on other devices. And for people who've only used those devices, a lot of times it is harder to learn certain movements because certain movements really come about because you learn how to move it back and forth because of the moving platter. And that muscle memory is built in at a certain point. So yeah. But you can learn a lot from just using a controller or CDJ. So it depends on how far you want to take it. If we're talking about basic scratches, yeah, I mean, you can do that with any device for sure. Beyond that, like if you want to get more intricate, more into it, I think a turntable is something that can give you an extra insight. DJ Kylo, yes, indeed. You know what it is. Have you tried Facebook gaming for live streaming on Facebook using Facebook copyrighted music? Is Facebook starting to partner up with music industry groups? Have you heard anything? No, I haven't really looked into it. I've heard a little bit about it, about some type of partnering up, but I haven't looked into that yet. And I haven't spoken to DJs who've been doing it either. Mixmaster G has done some tests with Facebook gaming. However, it's still taken down after 30 minutes. Damn. Even if you have a game running in the background. Okay. Yeah, that's why I just stopped messing with Facebook because they really did that a lot. Like midstream, just cut you off. And Megawatt, the DJ, says I only use Facebook for artist building. All right, so in the chat, Arm TV is asking in the chat if anyone knows where to find Christian/Latin and English music DJ pools. Okay, Jazzy Jeff got taken down during his live today. What, on Facebook? Man. SQ Squad in the building. I see you. Salute. MH, recommendations on headphones. So if we're talking DJ headphones, I use a couple of different headphones. One of my all-time favorites, which I currently don't have anymore, is the Sennheiser HD25. One of my main headphones is the Pioneer HDJ 2000. I think it's the Mark II. And my main right now, which are actually quite similar to the Sennheisers, that's what I really like about them, are the III. I think it's the TM2 modular headphones. I really like these. These are on ear, so if you want over ear, these are not the ones for you. And the Pioneers actually are over ear. So that depends on what you like. And I mean, there's tons of others out there. Some really prefer like to use a certain Sony. I forgot the model. And others like V-Moda, Beats by Dre. There's a lot of them out there that I just haven't tested, but I've heard great stories about. But personally, for me, the one I've used a lot, the Pioneers, first the HCJ 1000, then the 2000, now the III, because they're so similar to Sennheiser AC25, which is still like my top pair of headphones that I've ever used. Okay, so maybe Jeff wasn't taken down. Mm-mm. Yeah, Viz Styles, I agree. Competition between companies makes it more affordable for the consumer, but you always have to question the quality. Of course, you always have to just make sure you get a look and feel. But more companies getting involved is a great thing. That's what I loved about when Den in a couple of years came in with their Prime series, because it kind of shook the industry. Like, okay, wait a minute, what's going on? I mean, Pioneer is still like the biggest market shareholder, but just to know that other brands are coming through with like dope gear, that's only going to elevate like the entire industry, because if certain brands add certain features, other brands have to take a look and be like, okay, maybe we need to have this as well. And price wise, it can only be good as well. Yeah, man. Like Mixmaster D says, we're still locked down over here. Das Hog in the building. Salute. I see you. Ah, okay. Renee C says Facebook occasionally cuts us off. Play most of the music at +4 with no key lock. Yeah, but I wouldn't want to do that. Making all artists sound like chipmunks just to hopefully not get taken down. Because I understand, like, if that is sometimes can help. If you like speed up your music a lot with no key lock, then it really kind of changes the actual key of everything. But that to me kind of ruins the music. But if it works for you and your son, then um, then you could do it. If you can get like the 2 hour set in every Sunday. And I mean, there's not a lot of other platforms. Like I said, I mean, Twitter, you'll be safe, but there's just not an audience there. I'm streaming on Twitter with all my mixes. I mean, I don't hear a lot from Twitter, but at least I can stream to it. And Mixcloud, of course, that's the safest place. They just still haven't built their audience because not enough DJs are there. You don't have the same type of community feel that you have when you're on Twitch. And they need to work on that, improve that, like get more things in there. A lot of things on Twitch that I'm not even really into, like the channel points. I haven't never really looked into that, but there are a lot of things that keep people on Twitch. And Mixcloud was going to implement some of that, or be able to raid other channels, stuff like that, which leads to collaborations. And now your audience gets to meet the other DJ's audience, et cetera, et cetera. You can't do that on Mixcloud yet. All right, Mixmaster G is getting into the missing tracks thing in the chat. ARMTV says, I have a Pioneer SX3, not a year old, having issues after I turn off the unit, the effects and drop erase for my keypads. I would have to load them back on. And that's what I said, like, you'll find out with every brand, sometimes you can have like a faulty unit. In some cases, there's an actual flaw in the device, and then you hear the same complaints from a lot of people. I mean, I know FaZe had that in the beginning. I never had any issues with mine, but a lot of people had issues. They had like the drifting issue and other issues. Most of that, or everything, has been solved because all of the firmware updates that they did. But then you know, like, hey, this is something they need to fix. But if like one DJ has a new controller and the platter doesn't work, or one DJ has a controller and the effects don't work, then most likely it's just a faulty unit. Earl Whiff says, I have an XLR sub out on my mixer. Does it have to be a sub speaker, or will any speaker work? Oh, wow. I'm not sure. I mean, if it's actually a sub out, it might be specifically for a sub. So no idea if it will take a normal speaker. I don't know. I want to say it's DJ Hefe here, but maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. My name is Jeff. Could be anything, but salute to you. Jody Vaden, I see you. Serato, highlight the missing tracks and then press control and press delete. Yeah, I think the person, I forgot who said it, but already said like when they delete the tracks, next time they open Serato, those same missing tracks show up again or something like that. All right, Mixmaster G says the same thing. If it says sub, then it's for a sub. Jazzy Lamel, what's my thoughts on the Pioneer S11? Love it. I had that one here for quite some time. Going back to what I said earlier in the stream, like I get to test a lot of devices, but then they go back. So it's not here anymore, but I've had it here twice, and I really, really like it. I mean, the Pioneer mixers are my favorite battle mixers, but the one thing I really like about my my Rain 72 is the screen in the middle. With the S11, you get both. You get that Pioneer feel, Pioneer workflow with the screen. So, love it. Absolutely love it. Would love to have that one again. Real quick. Hey, man, I don't mind doing it like this for now. This is my first time doing it like this because I haven't used the M50 in a while. But I haven't cut out once. Like normally, you remember if you've been watching my stream since like a year or two ago, like every half hour you get that black screen and I will see the chat like, hey, the camera's out. I have to turn it back on again. I'm on point today. Reese has used Record Cloud and works really good for music management. Finds missing tracks, cleans up your library. Pretty dope once you are over the learning curve. Except for Pioneer Database, gets tricky, but works great. Okay, cool. I haven't used that one. And Pete Floff says, how do you spot the beginning of a phrase? Great question. Well, look, a lot of times you can notice that a new phrase begins when you hear like a clear musical change. Now, of course, it really helps if you know where the one started, because then most of the times after 4 or 8 bars, a change will occur, which starts your new phrase. So with certain music, like with certain house music, you would have like the first like 4 or 8 bars, you would just hear like a kick drum. And then after that, you would get like a hi-hat in between, like tss, 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 and then 8 bars later, another sound, or every 4 bars. But every time you get that new sound, it's a new phrase. With hip hop and R&B, it's a little bit different, but a lot of times it will just start with either like 4 or 8 bars of the beat or a melody. Let's say it starts with a melody, 4 bars of a melody. Then you get the same melody, but now drums are added. That's a new phrase, so it's a clear change. Then after like 4 or 8 bars, the vocals come in. That's a new phrase. So a lot of times you can just clearly tell because of a clear musical change. And if we're talking about vocals, when you're in a chorus and you go to the, in a verse and you go to the chorus, where the chorus, the hook begins, that's also a new phrase. Salute Philip Tan. Vistal says, was your chair made by Newmark? No. I mean, I have no idea about this brand. I bought it on Amazon for a pretty decent price, and maybe that's what I get for that price. I mean, beyond that, it's a pretty nice chair. I like it. It has that recline feature. You can take the arms up or leave them down. It's okay. So maybe it's just like a drop of oil in certain places that will take the sound out. But yeah, you shouldn't be hearing these cracking sounds this soon. FX Mafia, how do you adjust the scratching knob on Serato DJ Lite? Or can you on Lite? But wait, the scratching knob on Serato DJ Lite? Wait, Serato, you have DJ Pro and DJ Lite. I have not seen the Lite version of Serato DJ forever. So I'm not sure. Many hip hop and R&B tracks start with a bunch of shout outs to the crew and producer. No, they don't. At least not in all of the hip hop and R&B that I play. Like a lot of shout outs to the crew and producer. I mean, you do in hip hop now have a lot of DJ producers that will have their producer tag in the beginning, but that's just like one name. But So no, I don't really run into that. Like most of the tracks that I play do not start with a bunch of shout outs. But do you ever play that part in the set, or do you always skip to the verse slash hook? No, if I had a track that would have like you have certain tracks that will have just vocals in the intro, could be talking or whatever. If I want to mix that into a song, but that song has vocals in it as well, I have to find a trick around that. So what I will do, if possible, if I'm playing a song and that song just had 8 bars of beat in the beginning, but we're already past that, I'm in the middle of the song. I normally have a cue point at the beginning of my track. If I have a new track that I want to mix into it, but that track has like shout outs or talking in the beginning, I'm not going to mix it into the chorus of the other track. When I bring it in, I'll hit the cue on the track that's already playing to cue it back to the beginning, to the first 8 bars of clean beat on that one. So now I can make my mix with the new track, with the talking, mixed through the 8 bars of clean intro on the other one. If there's not an option for that, then I'm not going to mix it. Then I'm just going to drop it on the one, because you don't want to really mix 2 tracks with vocals a lot. Most of the times it'll sound a little bit messy. Home Sage says, do you think that the best way to know or improve how to scratch is to wait? That question was already. How do we get that question again? And I thought someone else asked that question. But anyway, I already talked about that. Yes. Further down the line, once you get past the basics, a turntable is probably your best learning tool. Nara Chim on Facebook. First, I want to say thank you for the Q&A. It's helped me in so many ways. Dope. Recently bought Phase. I'm still messing around with it, getting used to it. I played with the pitch controls, lowering and speeding up the BPM. I noticed it picks up at the same speed where I left off from the last session. Do I have to keep recalibrating it to start back at the song's normal BPM? Also, can Phase work offline? So every time I do a set with Phase, like every time I've played a set with Phase, after I'm done, Phase goes back into the charger. Anytime I start a set, I open the Phase manager, I calibrate, then I start playing. That's what I do every time. So I've never played a set with Phase and the next time just open up, start a Serato, and just started playing again. I'll always calibrate before I start my set. And Phase offline. In what way offline? How? I'd like to know what you mean with playing with Phase offline. How do you feel about in-ear monitors? I started using them recently. They are nice once you get used to them. That's my problem. I cannot get used to them. For me, that's I really love being able to do this. Taking one off, listening to my monitor, and hearing this. Taking them both off, putting them back on. With in-ears, yeah, you don't want to take them in and out. I've played with in-ears. I have a set of Pioneer in-ear headphones. I mean, they're super dope, but DJing with them is just not my cup of tea. I could not get used to it. Megawatt, which headphones did you get? Andy Cases, so do you play music also, like instruments? No, I don't play instruments. I have played the drums. I actually started with drumming before I started DJing. And I do make beats now, but I don't use traditional instruments. I make music on my computer. So I do have like a MIDI keyboard, but I'm not a piano player. I do my drums on pads. So I have played the drums. That's been my instrument of choice. I bought a guitar, bass guitar at a certain point because I wanted to learn, but I never got around to do that. But that is something I would like to maybe learn one day. Play a little bit of keys, learn to play that bass. And Megawatt, so I don't know what Vinyl Touches thing is, but to me, it's when it comes to in-ears, it's really because I just like to be able to take off one side. When I'm playing in a booth and I have monitor speakers, I want to have one cup on the ear or over my ear, and the other one I want to have clear so I can hear the monitors. That's just my preferred way of playing. Even though I've done plenty of sets where I had to just mix in my headphones, if that was the case, then the in-ears could work. But still, I'm just so used to being able to take them off at any time. And when they're in your ear, you can't really do that. Rico Steez in the building. Salute, salute, salute. Wait, is Fly DJ Eli here? Oh, here he is. Salute. When are you going to bless us with a new Spotify playlist with your own certified bangers? Yeah. I'm not sure. I wanted to do the Spotify playlist thing as well, but curating playlists just takes up more time, and time is like, there's not enough hours in the day as it currently is. So that is something that I have to put on hold, unfortunately. Let's see. Mixmaster G, that's you must be talking about BeatSource Link because otherwise it doesn't really make sense, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm misreading. Costa Rica in the building. Salute, salute. And Das Hawk says, I've been using Sony MDR V600 headphones for 20 years. Isn't very helpful information because they're not made any longer. Maybe that's the Sony that I've seen a lot of people use. I'm not sure. Yeah, Costa Rica. I mean, I haven't really covered it. The new Pioneer controller. All I said is like more info is coming very soon. How do you bring your audience up? Can you give a brief explanation? When did you start? I can ask. So I'm not sure what bringing the audience up means. When I started DJing 28 years ago. Is that 28 already? I think we're getting there. Yeah, at least 28 now. No, actually more. It's more like 29 years ago. So yeah, a long time ago. Very long time ago. I mean, when I say started, I mean, of course, I'm talking about just having a set at home. I mean, I was drumming when I was 14. I think I got my first DJ set at 16, something like that. So we're getting on. Oh, that's 30. Damn. Okay, so a long, long time. But the first couple of years, was just playing at home. Then I got to play at the local youth center. That was like my first real gig. So a long, long time. Wait, let me check this for a sec. Yeah, I thought so. You went down. That happens sometimes. Let's see. Which one did I miss? My pleasure, Earl Whiff. And Vess is in the building. What up, Vess? And how can I become a little reverb hall on the master output to get more wideness on the sound like radio stations have? I have the DJ MS-11. I don't know if you want to do that. Have like reverb on your. First off, you can't get reverb on your master inside that mixer. The effects go on the channels, so you would have to. I mean, that's what I'm thinking now. So if you wanted to have that on your master, you would either have to run your output from your mixer through some other little mixer that has the effect option. But I don't think that's what you want, like to have like a reverb over your mix to get more wideness to the sound. And are we talking about live mixing? Because if you're recording a mix, you could always add a little bit after you record it. Wicked E was good. I have a pair of Rain 12s. Is there a way to have the turntables to keep spinning while adding the next track without pressing the play stop button? Oh yeah, sure. In Serato, you just need to go to the settings and you have to what's it called? Because I hate that. It's a safety feature that's built in so people don't load the track into the wrong deck, because if both decks are playing, it's easier to make the mistake. I've done it in the past. It doesn't happen to me now unless you were here on Monday when I was playing with the RX3, and then I did do it once, but that's because those two load buttons are right next to each other and I just missed it. With my normal devices, like the load buttons are clearly on each side of the mixer or players. But it's a safety feature, and I hated that. Always wanted that off. I didn't want to stop my control vinyl or anything to load. So there's in Serato, in the settings, there's a feature that you just have to turn off, and then you don't have to do that. I can check for you. I have to go to the settings on the other computer. I can check that in a second, maybe, if someone doesn't already add it in the chat. Oh, yeah, there it is. A protect playing deck. All right, so you have to turn that off. Turn that safety feature off. Then they can just keep spinning. Let's see. If I miss any questions, you can always ask him again, like 10, 15 minutes in, because I'm only 5 minutes behind today. That's actually a first. DJ Larry says, "Can we get a sample of the beats you made?" Sure. SoundCloud.com/DJ TLM. I have the DJ TLM TV playlists with like free beats and scratch tools you can download. They're filled with beats. And you have all of the Saturday sessions that I do. There's a separate playlist, but it's some of the beats are also in that other playlist. Saturday sessions, instrumentals I use for that, also available for free download as free downloads. Those are beats I made. Now, those beats most of the times will be more basic versions, not like overproduced with a lot of arrangement stuff in there, because a lot of times it's loops just to scratch over. If you want to hear some of the tracks I produced for actual artists, you could go check out my man Brainpower on Spotify, and his latest releases called John Nada and Dichter bij God, which means closer to God. I produced those, and in the last year I produced Crockett and Tubbs and Hopeful, and I might even be missing one. So those are actual tracks. You can hear the tracks with an artist on there. So that's Brainpower on Spotify. And just like beats, some beats and loops, you can find those on my SoundCloud. So Jazzy Lamel, how are you and other DJs dealing with the pandemic over there? Team no work. That's what I'm part of right now. I mean, we're dealing with a lockdown again now, and we've had several lockdowns. So basically, I've had close to no gigs last year and the year before, because every time they do open it up again and bookings start to come in, by the time those bookings should be coming, we're already locked down again. So basically, a lot of us have close to no work. I know some DJs who'll do like little house party things and like literally parties in houses, and some who've done stuff in like small warehouses or just illegal type parties. I'm not into that at all. So yeah, not a lot here. There's just not a lot going on here. Luckily, I have other things I can do, but I feel for my DJ pals who only had DJing, because it's just not here now. All right, Costa Rica, get back to work. Get back to work. Mad Live, how do you connect webcams to the ATEM Mini Pro? You can't. Webcams you connect to your computer. Webcams are USB based, and the ATEM Mini Pro is for devices to be connected through HDMI. So you don't need an ATEM Mini Pro. You have your webcams, and you connect them to your computer. ATEM Mini Pro is something you use to connect computers that you can't really connect directly to your computer. Like a lot of cameras, will have USB options, but they're not the best options most of the time. So, I mean, I know I can connect this M50 to the computer through USB, and you can use some software that will make it turn into basically a webcam. But I mean, this is the better option for me to do it like this. But yeah, that is not gonna work with webcams. Yeah, Vess, I know. It depends. Sometimes it will be. Today, I'm actually glad I'm up to speed because I really have a lot of work to do. Because Monday I went overtime. Today, I definitely do not want to go overtime. Hey, John Willett, thanks for knowledge. Got to bounce. Hey, for real? Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry. I read it wrong. For a second there, I thought you just said that your ex just bounced on you with the kids, but okay. You have the kids. I got you. Got you. Family first, always. Yeah, DJ Larry, you have some virtual parties like here too. Some DJs have done a couple of bookings, like some companies would do like a virtual thing, but I haven't heard of DJs who got to do many. So I do know DJs here who just totally switched to streaming, of course, and made that their full-time thing, streaming 5 to 7 days a week. But that's only some. Like for a lot of others, I'm not sure how they coped in the last 2 years. Let me quickly check if anyone did drop a question on IG because I asked them there. Let's quickly see. Did anyone post a question? I did it super late, so I assume there's not going to be any questions there. No, I don't think so. Cool. Show already started. Blah, 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 blah. So I can actually delete this now. Let me oh, wait. One comment? Oh, no, that's nothing. All right. Delete. Doesn't have to stay up. How come you haven't been putting a lot of content on YouTube lately? Well, the last year I definitely haven't dropped a lot, but I'm actually back to the content. Well, I've been doing this on Wednesdays like for a long time now. So that's also the replays are available on YouTube as well. So that is content on YouTube. Just not a lot of the other content, but more of that is definitely on the way. I've been dropping some of my from the podcast, the video episodes. I just dropped the Saturday Super Session. That's a week and a half ago. I did a Black Friday video a couple of weeks ago. So some new content and then the podcast episodes. So some new content has been dropped, like not a lot, like 6 videos in the last 3 months, and then all of these live streams. But definitely more content on the way. So stay tuned for that. I got some nice stuff on the way, coming very soon. Chaotic Monkeys, I appreciate that follow. And I'm totally up to date. I've done it. We're here. Shout out Brainpower. I mean, this is not his bottle, but I got the sticker there. For the Barlitos Way vinyl. Yeah. I haven't done, I didn't do production on this one, but I did do scratches on a couple. One, two, I think on 3 of the tracks I did cuts. But he's got a new one on the way. That has a couple of productions of mine on it. I mean, they're on Spotify now, but the vinyl is coming for that too. All right, hey, if you're going to keep quiet like that, I can actually stop early today and get back to work. So if there's no more questions, I am actually just going to stop this in like 5, stop at 9:30, which would be pretty good for me. Like I said, I have a ton to do. Costa Rica says, hold on. No, Costa Rica, you're working. You have your manager watching you, man. Do you have your own recording studio? If so, what do you use? Well, it's not really a recording studio for audio, but this is I'm in my studio now. This is where I record my video content. So for video content, of course, I have my equipment, I have my lighting, my cameras, you name it. And I also do my beats here. I make my beats here as well. And my main tool for my beats is Native Instruments Machine. That is my go-to device, but I also use that with in combination with a lot of other plugins. And most of the times, if I've done a beat there, and if I want to mix the track, I will take it into Studio One on the computer. So yeah, that's it. I have still Machine Mark 1 for the Machine software on the computer, and like a ton of plugins. I have a Universal Audio Apollo Solo USB as my audio interface, Native Instruments M32 MIDI keyboard. But I mean, I'm not recording songs here. I'm making beats here. If I wanted to record vocals here, I would probably have to use the pod mic right here and connect that straight to the Apollo. I can also record inside of the Rodecaster Pro. But like I said, this is not a recording studio. I don't have like a separate recording booth. Even though I have a reflection filter here that I could put up and make a little booth, but I don't need it because this is my video / streaming / podcast content creation studio. Nara says, I actually left a long post on one of your videos on YouTube about DJ failures. This mess up is what made me by phase. Do you feel like reading it? I can find it and copy paste. Well, if you can find it now, sure. What techniques do you use for the fader hand when doing the transformer scratch? Is that a trick question? Because the transformer is what it is. Excuse me. So in my case, for my transformer, I'm using my left hand on the platter, right hand on the fader. You can just watch my transformer video. I have my scratch tutorial part 3. I have to say 3 probably, the transformer. But just to summarize quickly, I have my crossfader here. Closed position is to the right. I open it to the left. I have my thumb pressed up against it, holding it closed. And basically I pretend this is like you can basically see it as my thumb being like a rubber band holding that crossfader closed. So it's holding it closed, but it can be pushed open, but it'll close again immediately. So that's closing it. And then my other fingers are tapping it open. So I tap against it to open it, but my thumb closes it up straight away. So you get those short taps, short bursts where you open it up. Just watch that video. Sean Herring says, is beat making hard for you? Or is making beats hard for you? Well, hard? I don't know. It's not hard, but how should I put it? Somehow I never make what I set out to make. It's a funny thing. When I get inspired and I want to make like a hard beat, I'll make the smoothest thing you ever heard. But I mean, I can get started pretty easily, and sometimes it'll be like a sample or a melody, and sometimes it will be just starting with drums and take it from there. Casey Labs says, bro, I think that your scratch lessons are a lot better than this podcast. I see no logic in that statement. First off, this is not a podcast. This is a live stream. It's a Q&A show where I answer the questions that I receive. So why would you compare that to a produced tutorial where I prepare, record, edit, and create an explanation video for one specific thing? I'm missing the logic there. So, yeah, that's my response. That's not even oranges and apples. See, even my camera, even the camera disagrees. No, but I that's apples and oranges. I don't see the logic in that. And I heard the timer, but I got caught off guard by the question. And beyond that, hey, that's perfectly fine. So then you know that the live streams on Wednesdays are not your cup of tea. And then just watch if there's new tutorials on the YouTube channel and you can check those out. But I see no logic in the comparison. You're using your whole wrist. I mean, for some people that might be more comfortable, Costa Rica, for that transformer. So some people might do that differently. I don't know. That's just what works for me. Oh, wow. That is a long, now Jim, that is a long one. No, Casey Lab, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe you prefer the lessons because, like I said, like if you take one of my tutorials, I know in advance, like, okay, what am I explaining in this video? This is it. Okay, what do I want to explain when it comes to a certain technique? Write that down, like not my script. I don't have a script, but I write down like, okay, I have to make sure I mention this, that, and that. Then I take a bunch of takes to make sure I'm explaining that correctly. Get some nice shots if I want to like showcase it. And then I have to edit that all together to make it a concise explanation. You're watching a live broadcast, so none of this is prepared. I don't even know what's going to be asked until I get here. Then I see the questions, and my answers depend on what kind of questions I'm receiving. And that's that. For some people, this is very useful because they have a specific question, and they're looking for someone who might have the answer. And a lot of times, I could have the answer, or someone in the chat can have the answer. So that's what this is for. That's why it's called like Share the Knowledge Live, a DJ Q&A. So, of course, that's going to be totally different than like a tutorial or one of my product reviews. But those are a lot more work. This for me, of course, is easier because I have to just turn the camera on, start streaming, have a mic, and I can go. And those take a lot more work. That is one of the reasons why I haven't made that many of the tutorials and reviews because they take a lot more time to put together. But I do need to make a lot more of those. So hopefully you'll get to see more of those this year. All right. So Nara Chim, I'm going to go through this. Damn, I said, okay, you could send it. So now I actually have to read it. All right. So let's try to do this fast. My biggest fail so far is a few weeks ago. That's December 2021. DJing a concert of new upcoming artists. My equipment, Reloop 7000 turntables, S9 mixer. After I had set up, my left deck wasn't working properly, but my right deck was for the most part, and I figured I could figure out why that night. I couldn't figure out that night. Okay. Practicing all day before gig time, getting everything ready, and at home everything went smooth, but gig time not so much. So I couldn't play the way I wanted and normally play, but still made it work. I played the artist track on my right deck since that deck was the only one working correctly. First two groups, it went smooth. The deck starts slowing down on the third group's performance. I couldn't figure out why. And the artists that were performing were angry. And they had every right to feel angry. So I played the rest of their songs internal. Thank you. I just wanted to mention, like as soon as your turntables fail with your DJ software, switch to internal mode. I've done gigs with Brainpower where mid-show I just noticed that something was glitchy within the software. And it could have been anything. Could have been in the software. It could have been my records, my needle, the tone arm. This was before phase. It could have been anything. As soon as I hear that first glitch, I'm switching to internal mode because he's rapping over the instrumental. So I have to make sure that that instrumental just plays the way it's supposed to play. And that will at least make sure everything sounds the way it should sound. So I'm glad you figured that out, went to internal mode. They were hype. I'd say the group was one of the best performances that night. When it happened, they were in the zone, so they roasted me. This DJ suck. But I continued on and played the rest on internal mode, and the show went on. By the way, this is why acts should bring their own DJ and not depend on a DJ. So I'm not blaming you, but it's also funny, like when acts, I've done gigs like that where you're providing the music for a bunch of like talents at a show. And most of the time, they don't even know what they're doing. Yo, play track, whatever, 7. No, this is not the one. And you're like, dude, you said 7. This is 7. I've been there, trust me. But just to flip the coin, like, hey, acts, if you don't want stuff like this to happen, bring your own DJ and rehearse your show with a DJ. Okay, I digress. Let's get back. So they roasted you, but I continued on, played the rest of it on the internal mode, and the show went on. I did what I can to make the show and my equipment not mess up during any artist performance. Not the way how I wanted to play, but I made it work. After that screw up, I felt bad. I wasn't mad that they were roasting me. It was their debut performance, and I didn't hold up my end. At the end of the gig, I apologized to the group and promoters. And promoter said, okay, ish happens. You kept your composure and handled it well. You made it work. And the group said it's all good. We were just in the zone. Everyone else says the same thing, but I still felt bad. They trusted me, booked me, and I felt I didn't hold up my end. After the gig, I ordered phase online, telling myself this can't happen again. Got home, set everything up, figured out what went wrong. After half an hour trying to figure out what went on, my left deck, I figured it out. On the turntable where we plug the RCAs in, there's a switch, and the switch was on CD instead of phono. And I was like, the problem was this the whole time. So guess what happened to the right deck during the performance was the needle skip because of the stage vibrating. Hey, you summed it up already. Ish happens. It can happen. And yes, it is very important that you kept your composure and just went on with the show because that's the thing. The show must go on. And I had to troubleshoot on many occasions, many different things that went wrong or that I didn't know what went wrong, and you have to make it work. And of course, at the end of the day, you're like, damn, I didn't get to play how I wanted to play. So yeah, it won't be your best performance ever, but it will make you better. And next time when something happens, again, you won't panic. You'll stay calm, try to figure it out. So these things are good that they happen. They'll make you a better performer at the end of the day. DJ DeMello LC, question is it okay to stay in my lane and play classics and breakbeats? New stuff, this doesn't work for me. I'm from the BAM Flash area. What do you think? I think every DJ should play what they feel they want to play. So I'm not talking about specific songs, but like genre, lane, exactly what you're talking about. I totally understand. If you were to play more genres, you could probably do more shows, get more gigs. Same thing applies to me. That's just not me. That's just not my thing. So I choose to play the things I want to play, realizing that that means less gigs. So yes, if classics and breakbeats are your thing and you don't feel, either you don't feel the new stuff or don't feel comfortable playing it, then don't. Then that's your era and that's what you love to play. And you have to make sure you find that joy in DJing. And you're probably going to ruin that for yourself if you start to play a bunch of music you don't feel and don't like. So I'm fully with you with that one. Some DJs play everything because they like everything. Some DJs play everything when they hate everything, but they do it to get the bag. If that works for them, kudos, do it. It doesn't work for me. I can't play stuff I don't like. So yeah, that means I'm not going to get that same bag. It is what it is. I've been doing this, like I just said, for like probably started 29, 30 years ago. The only way I continue to do this thing that I love is to treat it with the respect and just do what makes me happy within DJing. So yeah, I'm with you. Dazzy Lamel says, I have Machine Mark 1 as well. It's kind of a learning curve because I came from the MPC 2000. Did you have the same issue? No, actually not. For me, this was what I needed. I have and still have. I mean, you can't see it; it's up there, but I have my MPC 2000 XL here. Used that for a long time. At a certain point, I felt it missed a certain computing power, and I eventually switched and started to use Cubase with Akai MPD. And I used that with Native Instruments. What's it called again? Damn, they had that drum plugin. The name will come to me in a second. But anyway, that way the MPD kind of gave me the MPC feel, but now I had the computer power. So that was step one for me. When I ran into Native Instruments Machine, when that came out, that was basically something that had that MPC look with the computer power, and I really prefer this workflow. Akai later came out with that Renaissance, but the software, I saw it, and the workflow did not feel as comfortable to me as my Native Instruments Machine. So yeah, it wasn't really that much of a learning curve then for me. ArmTV says, I will not play half the stuff that is out now. All classics for me and 1% of the new stuff. Yeah. And it's not even just about like old school or hip hop and new. Also, like, I've had plenty of DJs tell me like let's say 10, 15 years ago, like, hey man, you should start doing the house thing. It's really happening there. You can make a lot more money there. And to me, it was just like, hey, that's not going to make me happy. And if I want to do a job that doesn't make me happy, there are jobs out there that can probably pay a lot more than the DJing gigs I was doing. That's not why I got into DJing. So, yeah. And with the new stuff, I mean, I like a lot of new stuff. It's not all the new stuff that they're playing in the club right now. And I do find it a little bit hard sometimes to find a good way to combine the old and the new, just because of the incredible difference in style and tempo between the two. So when it comes to the GoPros, and did Costa Rica talk about a GoPro? Because I see Mixmaster G answering. I kind of think I missed the GoPro question. When it comes to the GoPros, the last 3 versions probably do not have HDMI out. My GoPro Hero 5 had HDMI out. All the new models don't. I have the Hero 9 and 10 here. I bought the Media Mod for both of them. The Media Mod is an enclosure for the GoPro. You put it around the GoPro, and it adds an HDMI out, and it also adds a mic in, allowing you to connect external microphones. Now, the Mod mic itself, the Mod already has a microphone on it, but you can also add extra microphones, and it has like hot shoes and everything. So I have those mods for both of my GoPros. With questions regarding production, any plans to have a production-focused episode of Share the Knowledge? Well, Vest, that's why I started to do the plugging in live streams that I did, and I just don't have the time to do that. So yes, at a certain point, I will either incorporate it into a Share the Knowledge or just do a separate live stream again about just the beats I'm making. I am doing new episodes of making the beats to just show how I made some of the beats that I either used for like a Saturday session or stuff like that. And maybe a live stream as well. Yeah. But there's so much that I don't know about that I find it hard to like do a Q&A about it unless we're talking specifically about just the way I make my beats. I need to buy something extra. Oh yeah, I just talked about the media mod. The lens only being wide pisses me off. But wide? The lens isn't only wide. You can just have it in narrow. And narrow is definitely not that wide. Like when I have my normal, during my live streams, when you see the top shot, that's not like wide or distorted. That's the narrow. I have it on narrow. And you catch plenty of everything. Jet Sounds, salute to you. And Young C in the building. What up, what up? What is one thing you've planned that you think will change your life? So here's my thing. I'm not talking about plans too much because I've done that in the past too many times, talking about what I plan to do. And half of the time you end up not doing it. So the only thing I'm saying for this year that I'm sharing with everyone is that consistency is key. That is like one of my driving factors, motivations this year. Consistency is key. Even today, I do a Q&A show on Wednesdays. This Wednesday was really not a good time for this Q&A because I have a ton of work to do. I had to do it. Q&A is on Wednesdays. Like if I was sick or anything like that, of course, then I would have to cancel. But beyond that, consistency is key. But I don't want to talk like about plans beyond that. Just because I've done that in the past, like, hey guys, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Nah. But that alone is something that requires a lot of discipline and focus just to be consistent. Not just with like a live stream, but with everything that I do concerning like content creation, health, business, relationships, everything. Why do you think DJs today are relying on BPM so much and not ear? I mean, I play by BPM as well, but I mix by ear. And I never did that in the past. So when I was playing with vinyl, I never really noticed BPM. I wasn't paying attention to that. Like some DJs would have BPMs written on their sleeves, and I never understood why they did that. I would just know my music and play a song and then just feel like, hey, this would work well. Grab that song. 9 out of 10 times it would actually fit. Sometimes I would be totally off and it's like a totally different tempo than I thought it was. Once I got into using a digital system and I had the option to sort by BPM, I actually never stepped away from it again. So I do kind of focus on BPM to a certain degree. Like when I'm playing and I feel like, oh, hey, I want to play this now. Even if that's a different BPM, I'll switch if it's like a totally different BPM range. But I'm still mixing by ear. So I don't think the two actually are the same. But I understand you're probably talking about like how some DJs will just look at their screen and see if the two are the same. The reason why I don't rely on that is sometimes like songs haven't been analyzed right. I've had it happen that songs say that they're the same BPM and you're playing them together and like you're like, okay, something is off because they're not blending right now. So yeah. So yeah, Vess, I will definitely share more about that because I mean I like making beats. Actually, like not most. I think 50% of my beats actually start right here or on the iPad. That's what I also love about Machine, that I have my iMachine, and I just have that with me all the time. So at any point, I can just grab this, and you have like a little version of your machine right there with sounds right there, you know? I mean, come on, that's just being able to have that, and you can record in here and basically create like your skeleton, because this doesn't, you do have the option to create like a couple of sequences, but you can't really modify things beyond that. But you export whatever you make in here as a project, open it on the computer and Machine, then I have all my separate tracks. And you also see all of the MIDI from everything you recorded. You can make notes longer, shorter, add more layers, you name it. So this is a great starting point. So I mean, this will probably sound horrible here, but probably won't hear the bass. Or maybe you will. Well, that's all happening in the phone. But then you take it to the computer. Now you can add all of these layers. You adjust levels, because you don't really adjust levels. I mean, you can actually take every single sound and change the gain a little bit. But beyond that, you move it to the computer. But just being able to, whenever you feel that itch, just grab and make something, even if it's just a melody or just a drum. And I could interchange any sound later on. Like maybe I don't like the kick or don't like the snare. I'm fine with that being like this. And then once I get there, I can go through all my libraries of sounds and interchange anything I want to interchange. So yeah, Michael Sullivan, I see you. I appreciate you. And ARM-TV, yeah, man, that is the thing. Like, consistency is so important. Like even just the simple thing, just from a business standpoint. Like, I do the YouTube thing. I make a little pocket change from the AdSense revenue. As soon as I do more, YouTube also promotes me more. Stuff gets seen more, and you can see your AdSense go up. Same thing with just like posting on Instagram. If I post more, then I have more engagement and I reach more people. Like I started just before the beginning of the year, of the new year, I started to be consistent with my posting, because I'm always so off when it comes to posting on things like Instagram. And I mean, it's going to be hard for you to tell, but if you look at that graph, if you see there where that graph has that crazy spike, that's the last 2 weeks. And I've reached 63% more accounts compared to the month before that. And I'm not posting 10 times a day, but just posting consistently makes all the difference. And I know the same thing applies to YouTube, but the same thing applies to health. Like, if you're consistent with what you eat or not eat, or if you move or not move, you will end up seeing results. Megawatt, yes. And Mellow LC, have you ever been to the Tools of War or Digger's Delight at Catonia Park in the Bronx? No, I haven't. This sounds like it's a vinyl thing, vinyl exchange or vinyl market or something like that. If I see Digger's Delight. So, I mean, I haven't been to the States since the last time I was there was 2004. So I haven't been there in 17 years. 18, getting on 18 now. Is that like an annual thing, or is that a monthly thing? So the next time I am in New York, I can go check that out. That will be dope. But yeah, I feel ARM-TV, I see you and I feel you. Like your channel growing while doing things part-time. Could only imagine being full-time. Yeah, it makes all the difference. Same thing with Twitch. I was doing this pretty consistently every Monday, every Wednesday. Sometimes an extra show on Friday and Sunday. And not making a lot of money, but I could see a consistent thing happening. Then the last couple of months, like 2 months, I was basically a bit off on streaming. And now I just noticed the first time I started streaming again, like all the numbers were lower. People are not ready for me to be there. They're not expecting me to be there. So less viewers, less everything. And everything will go up again once you start doing it consistently. 1,000%. Hey, it's almost 10. So I think I'm going to wrap it up and get back to the other business I have to do here. I want to thank you for tuning in. Check out DJ TLM TV tomorrow. That's all I can say now. Check out DJ TLM TV on YouTube tomorrow. And don't miss crates on Monday. Those are the only two things I can say right now. Check me tomorrow. Check me on Monday. 312, I see you. Hey, Mixmaster G, I don't know, man. I don't know if they're going to be on U.S. time. We'll see. Call us time. Michael Sullivan, Mixmaster G, Costa Rica, DJ 312, Mellow LC, DJ For Real, Arm TV, Megawatt the DJ, Vest, Maverick Bison. Salute to all of you. Young C, Jet Sounds. Salute, salute. I see all of you. Das Hog, Vinyl Touch, KC Lab, Tutorial Man, I see you. Jazzy Lamel, salute, salute, salute. Nara, Wicked E, Sean Herring, Chaotic Monkeys, Mad Live, Larry, John Willett. Salute to all of you. Swell Amadello, I appreciate you. I appreciate that share. Sorry I didn't see you earlier. That's why I'm doing this scroll right now. Andy K, salute. Real Kev, I see you. All of you in here. So once again, thank you, Mario the DJ, Earl Whiff, and everyone else, Rico Steez, everyone else I might have missed. Thank you for joining me. Fly DJ Eli, Call Us Tom, Philip Tan, of course. I've seen you. Viz Styles, ATM, Pete Fluff. Just wanted to give y'all some love again. DJ Efe, MH, Renee C, and shout out to RC3. DJ Reese, SQ Squad, DJ Kylo, Chalice, Grimma Teams, and more. I missed a couple already. Rockwilder Radio Show, Durrell, Rock City, New York. Much love. I think Rev Kev, Derek Stevens, Luna Rosa, man, Gus Gomez. Yeah, that's it. Shout out to all of you. That is all of you. And DJ 312, yeah, I think he means beat. I know he means beat. So yeah, that is a what's up. Northwest Audio, salute. Right, later.